Hey, howdy, hi, hello, hola, privet, bonjour, guten tag. What is up, Vikings? How goes it? Another start of another week, or the end of another week, whichever way you want to look at it. Oh man, good lord. It is now the sixth day in July. I believe we are like officially in summer. I hope you guys are all staying safe, staying cool, depending, of course, your weather or warm, whichever way you want to look at it. Um, it's been kind of a cool, chill week. Amber and I, unfortunately, we did not have a lot of time to play Asgard. This last week we were, for one, it was a holiday. We were fairly busy doing other stuff and figuring stuff out. But Asgard is just kind of one of those things, man. It either makes me want to take a nap or, well, keeps me insanely busy like Jotunheim. Anyways, oh, how did your guys' Asgard and weekend go? I did notice there's some stuff. Stars Night put out a video about solo onslaughts being able to be sent again. I haven't checked it out. Um, I do know that this was the first global event with the new Scout March in place, as far as able to click it off and just constantly send scouts. I didn't see too many people saying that their scouts got just annihilated. Um, I imagine we will see that more towards Jotunheim, Fury, stuff like that. Asgard like just doesn't seem to be the place a lot of people get their scouts just bushwhacked. I mean, I could be wrong. I mean, my my normal thing is not to scout during Asgard. So, but anyways, so I'll look into the solo onslaught thing. I'm not entirely certain about it. I mean, it's probably predicated by VIP level because, of course, once your VIP level gets to a certain point, your march size is just so much bigger. So, um, but it would be interesting for some cases if solo onslaughts came back. However, like, I mean, keep in mind the fact that solo onslaught you can really only send so much versus what the amount in towers and other places are. Of course, solo onslaughts on towns are still going to be, I believe, far off in the future, just because of the simple fact of how much bigger town onslaughts are versus onslaughts on towers. But I'll figure that out. Um, Real quick before I get started on anything else, members shout out as soon as my Discord opens. Moxie, Boomer, Cat, Modib, Snowman TG, and Yellow. Thank you guys for being consistent members of the Berserkr Bones Lodge. If you guys are interested in memberships, you can check out the link here. I thought I had that set up. I did not. There we go. You check out the link there. It's got a membership section down here in the bottom. I'm also coming up with some new merch. I don't know. Hopefully you guys will like it. I'm kind of messing around with some like melted smiley face art stuff. So there'll be some new merch coming out soon ish. As long as I get the images done and published and ready for stuff. Anyways, also please check out the GoFundMe. We are $800 away from that all being paid off, paid for, kaput, ended, etc., etc. So check out those if you guys can. Anyways, so moving on. This month is going to kind of be interesting because, as we know, there's going to be a lot of changes coming to Vikings War of Clans next month. We're supposed to be getting Imperial gear. We're supposed to be getting various other things. There's supposed to be a new holiday subscription as well. Let me see. I've got this. Right here. So, this is what will be in the month of August. So, I mean, we've got roughly the month of July. Month of July to relatively prepare for this. New shaman gear that will be available in the month of August. We do not know where it will be available yet. That is something that is has not yet been released. But it's supposed to be Imperial shaman gear. It is supposed to be the equivalent for shaman to what we have for King's gear, which leads me to believe that it will only be available in ranking in Jotunheim or maybe ranking in Asgard. I mean, that would be kind of cool. Like, do King's gear in Jotunheim and do Imperial armor for shaman in Asgard. New subscription. Torrin didn't release information about what the new subscription was going to be. He just said there would be a new holiday subscription. I imagine it will go right up there with Marble, maybe Chaos Elements. I don't know. But there will be a new subscription. Guard of Intimidation will also be going to level 15. There is a new guard that will be coming. See if I can find this real quick. Oh, Lord. There it is. Okay. Yes, Cosmos will also be available in the bank in the month of August. I mean, I foresee Cosmos going for probably close to like 3-ish grand. I don't know. But yes, Cosmos will be available in the bank. I don't know if that's going to be the Neon store or the actual bank itself. But Cosmos will be available in the bank. So this, they do not have a bonus or a name for this yet. This town skin will be coming soon-ish. I don't know if it's going to be for the month of August specifically, but this town skin will also be coming out. It's got the Mighty Thor's hammer on it by level 15 for animation. Again, I have not seen any update that this has like a name or bonuses applied yet. We know Cosmos will be coming to the store. We've seen Guard of Ruler in the store for, like, originally I think it was 2,300 USD. And then it dropped down to I think like 1,800 USD. So Cosmos being that much higher and harder to achieve, I imagine it will be close to 3,000. Would be just a figurative number that I'm throwing out there. This new guard, we do not know any of the bonuses or the name yet. But like there is that. Yes, exactly. VIP is still like a major thing for a lot of people. So I mean, like, Cosmos coming out, Ruler coming out, and being more widely available. Widely available, and like, don't know if like, since they're going to be more widely available, if that's going to put people off track on VIP. VIP is a huge game changer. If you look at the highest levels of VIP, you see bonuses that are very similar to Cosmos and Ruler anyway. So to be honest, like, and this is just throwing this out here, this is not judgmental of anyone or what they decide to do or choose to do, etc. But I mean, just to be completely honest, if I was going to spend the money for any of those town skins, more than likely I would just spend that amount of money towards VIP, just due to the simple fact that these bonuses, once you get into like the 90s, these bonuses on what you see as far as where's total? Right in here. Once you see total offense, total health, total defense, those bonuses, by the time you get up into the 90s, start looking more like Cosmos and Ruler anyway. I mean, like, of course, it all kind of stacks. But when you start getting, like, into the thousands... Hello, Platroy! When you start getting into the thousands, like 855, total offense, total health, total defense, I am good. And they start stacking with other stuff like offense during an attack. You start looking at things like offense against, and then dropping down here, T8 warrior offense. Once you start looking at stuff in there and you start seeing the thousands start rolling in, I mean, you're already pretty much looking at that point at Cosmos and Ruler type bonuses anyway, or even bonuses very, very similar to King's Gear. Of course, like I said, they all stack, so the more bonuses you have, the better. But I mean, like, if I was being honest, I would probably push my VIP before I would go buy like Cosmos or Ruler. That's just me personally. Like, I mean, to each their own. We don't know how long Cosmos is going to be in the store. Torrent said Cosmos would be available for the month of August in the Neon store, which leads me to believe it's going to be like a celebratory thing. So like, I don't know. I mean, it might be one of those things like you have to grab it while you can. I mean, I hope not, because it's probably going to be fairly expensive to buy out of the store. But I don't know. With Cosmos coming to the store, we could also see like Ruler getting retired from ranking and become more of a staple in like the Asgard store. I don't see Ruler ever hitting the Neon or the Seasonal shop, just because, I mean, like, reality is seasonal shop, it would probably be close to 800 million runics, if not or, yeah, 800 million runics. But I don't know. With new gear coming out, though, we could see King's gear go to the Asgard store. If it does, it would be very reasonable to assume that if King's gear hits the Asgard store, that it would probably hit for close to, I don't know, 500 to 800 million medals per piece. That wouldn't really be that far off out there. King's gear really has not been available for a good, like, 60 to 80% of the game. So, I mean, like, if they're going to throw it in a store, the Asgard shop would definitely be where they put it. I mean, like, see, a billion. That it could easily go for like 800 million to a billion per piece. Asgard equipment itself, I mean, like, the amulets go for 111 million. King's gear is way higher on the food chain than that. So, like, I mean, at 111 million a piece for amulets of Asgard gear, I mean, like, it would be reasonable to believe that it would probably go for 800 million to a billion medals. But the whole thing is like, it's always been ranking gear. So, I mean, like, reasonably with the bonuses, 800 million to 1 billion medals per piece would be fairly reasonable for the amount of bonuses and other stuff that gear gives. I mean, it's not just average gear. I mean, like, for a long time, the only place to get King's gear is quite literally the throne. And then it went to ranking. So, like, it's always been a ranking reward. When ranking rewards get stepped down, like, for instance, 1 second. Lotus. Okay. Lotus was a ranking town skin for, God, a year, I think. A year plus. When Lotus came out in the store, it was expensive. It wasn't, quote unquote, affordable. It wasn't one of those skins that, like, lower tiered clans or smaller clans could earn, because it had been a ranking skin. Like, that's it. It's not necessarily going to instantly be available. Ruler, same way. Ruler was a ranking town skin for a very, very long time. So reasonably, like, it going to the Asgard store for, I can't even remember how many medals it was in the Asgard store for. I don't know. One of you guys might be able to answer that for me. But, like, so Ruler going figuratively, oh, there it is. 500 million. Ruler going for 500 million medals is honestly, like, I mean, it's 1,800 in the neon shop. So $1,800 versus 500 million medals. Only difference is the 500 million medals, your clan is earning that with you. So, 500 million medals for Ruler. I would honestly, like, since King's gear is earned the same way Ruler was, or in very similar fashion to Ruler, honestly, I would not be, that much surprised if King's gear was going for 800 million a piece to 1 billion. I think, honestly, like, Detroit, I think you're spot on with that. Ruler at 500 million medals is way cheaper for 500 million medals than it is at $1,800. So, like, honestly, like, King's gear going for 800 million medals being very comparable in ruler as far as stats just kind of makes more sense. The amount of total offense that you get with King's gear is astronomical. It is huge. I mean, like, there are several people that I know, and ruler, I might add, also gives you specific bonuses like T8 warrior offense, T8 warrior health. That total offense at 1,000% when attacking towns. That is huge. When you start looking at, let me see, I've got it somewhere. This has been the topic of conversation for a while. Whoa! Way too fast scrolling. All right. Oh. There it is. All right. King's Gear bonuses. So, hello! So, like, when it comes to, when it comes to King's Gear, when you start looking at, like, total offense when capturing a fortress, 1,675%. Total offense, 3,462%. Like, and then the training bonuses. Like, so training speed, I've discussed that before. When it comes to training speed, honestly, like, training speed is very similar to regular training gear. Like, so that all is going to come down to your runes, your gems, etc., etc., etc. Versus, like, when it comes to the total offense when capturing a fortress, that stuff is very, very similar to ruler. Very similar to Cosmos. The number of warriors in an onslaught, number of warriors in a march, those two right there have always been very big bonuses on skins that are high price skins. It's awesome. Obviously, I've heard it's awesome when defending a Raven Tower. I don't know. I don't have King's Gear. It's not something I've ever really gotten to play around with. I want to do a comprehensive test of King's Gear, but honestly, that would not include a Raven Tower because, well, I mean, my clan's not going to run a Stronghold Siege just for me to defend a Raven, and me flying to my old kingdom to run that is just not going to happen. So anyways, but the bonuses of this literally will apply everywhere. So, that being said, it would be way more applicable in my mind to see close to 800 million to 1 billion medals. And I know, like, that sounds like absolutely absurd. Like, it really does. But when you look at the gear bonuses are very, very, very on par with what we see on Ruler and Cosmos. So, like, it being anything less than, like, 800 million medals in the Asgard shop, if it hits the Asgard shop, would be absolutely and utterly insane. Like, honestly, King's Gear is one of those things that, like, Cosmos, Ruler, King's Gear, those three are almost synonymous with, like, ranking in Asgard League during Jotunheim, in either weekly offense or through, like, your slaughter events. So, like, them being under 500 million medals would be absolutely insane. And even at 500 million medals, it's not exactly something that's necessarily affordable. Like, you got to think about it. Like, 500 million medals, you get Ruler. But you get a level 1 Ruler skin at, say, if they add Cosmos to the store, and Cosmos is $3,000. That's $3,000 out of pocket for a level 1 skin. Granted, I mean, that's probably very comparable to the cost of what you're going to spend to earn it in ranking, if not more, on top of also the time to earn it, etc., etc., etc. Like, these skins are level 1s. It would be the same thing as King's Gear being in there for 500 million medals per piece, which would take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 3.6 billion medals at that point to get a full set of King's Gear. At 3.6 billion medals, you'd have a full set of level 1 gear, which still, of course, needs to be raised. Now, King's Gear is slightly less expensive than Asgard gear to raise, but slightly more expensive than regular gear. So, you're still going to spend all that time hitting Uber Chiefs and other stuff to get the gear maxed. It's very, like, it's kind of one of those things. Even getting it, if it's quote-unquote affordable, you still have to max it. And none of this stuff is exactly cheap or necessarily, like, easy to max. So, I don't know. Like, that's just kind of how this works. This game has been, well, any mobile game, I should say, any competitive mobile game is going to be the same. It's not necessarily going to be affordable for everybody. That's just kind of how it is. If you want to be the top of the top in a game like this, you're going to have to spend. Like, it's, and I'm not knocking anybody's ability. I'm not knocking anybody's play style. I'm not, like, none of that. Literally, I've said it multiple times before. Be content with where you're at, what you can do, find out what works for you, and go with that. Like, to be honest, I mean, I've played in several top clans, over the years. I mean, I'm going, like, 10 years in this game for me right now. And, so, I mean, I've known Detroit for a while. But I don't ever compare my gameplay with, like, my good buddy Detroit's. I just don't. We play on different capability. We play some other things that, like, I just don't ever really compare myself to him. Why? Because we have different abilities to either spend, activity, both, different play styles in general. Like, so, I mean, like, I find what works for me, and I'm pretty content with that. However, Aegons, you are absolutely right. Ruler compared to other skins at level 15 is relatively cheaper to max. So, I mean, like, we could be seeing the upcoming skins, like this upcoming skin, could very easily be where Cosmos is now. Cosmos could go where Ruler is. Ruler could be retired to the Asgard store. King's Gear can then be moved to the Asgard store, and Asgard store, and the new Imperial armor could go for ranking. Now, like, again, I don't know. That's just me legitimately being like, well, I could potentially see this happening. But like really, I don't have any aspirations of ever attaining any of it. I mean, like, I'm one of those people that honestly, Ruler would be a waste to give me anyway. I mean, granted, I don't put in the major activity in my clan needed to earn it, but even if I did, like, this is what my average town skin tomfoolery looks like. I mean, I have 6 that can upgrade. Those 6 have been waiting for an eternity. Why? Because I don't have either stones of one sort or stones of another. And then when I do get those for one skin, I don't have star shards. So, like, really, like, it all comes down to the ability of what you have. The play style and stuff, of course, factors into that. I would have better luck maxing gear, to be honest. Not that I want to max more gear, because, like, I recently just about 2 months ago finished my Asgard gear. So, I mean, it really is just going to kind of depend on how much these prices get put in, on whether they're affordable for everybody. But also, the other thing is, when it comes to town skins like Ruler and Cosmos, it comes to things like King's Gear. Look at the effect that has on your march. If you cannot afford to send 900 million plus troops on a march consistently through events, then that gear is probably not for you. Like, it's not only expensive having the gear, it is expensive using the gear. It is not necessarily one of those things that the gear is just going to be that much easier because of the simple fact of it's more available. So, like, I don't know. It could be one of those things of like it becomes more wildly available in the game. I'm trying to find. Becomes more wildly available in the game, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to be way easier for people to use it. Like, I mean, honestly, it would be fantastic to have King's Gear. But, I mean, the affordability of troops. Can I afford to constantly send that many troops on a march? No, I can't. So, like, again, it's kind of relativity. Look at like how you play. That's one of those things. Like, it's kind of a demoniker of like how you choose to play will also affect like the goals that you have during playing. Like, I don't push achievements in Battle for the Light. To be honest, I don't push Battle for the Light. Like, I signed up today, and I don't honestly know if I'm gonna play or be available to play a single round. I mean, granted, I only signed up for a single round. However, my point being is like when you decide how you're gonna play, that kind of sets the tone for the things you want to go for. Like, I mean, affordability and stuff also factors into this because, like, if you cannot afford a massive amount of troops, then why would you have King's Gear? Because pushing King's Gear literally makes your march that much bigger. Pushing your march that much bigger means you're going to have to spend more for troops. I have heard people over the years go, I wish I had a maxed account because then I could quit spending. Wrong. Because even if you have every single skin maxed, all gear, everything maxed, guess what? In order to use a good chunk and majority of all of that things you have amassed, your spending shifts focus. You go from spending on town skins and gear and hero energy and shaman energy. You go from spending there to spending on troops. Because reality is, unless you use a massive amount of troops, and even using a massive amount of troops, you're not going to earn enough shards to train a massive amount of troops more. And that's before an update. If you have everything from an update maxed, literally, your focus shifts from, instead of being able to afford to max all skins and everything else, to, whoop, now I have to afford troops so I can use everything that I have maxed. It doesn't ever really stop. It is legitimately just like to keep going. That's how it works. That's why I said, like, find what works for you and roll with it. I have not spent on my account for a year. Now I think August will be a year. But I found what works for me, and that's what I roll with. And I'm content with that. I will probably never be the king of Jotunheim. I doubt I will ever have King's Gear. I significantly doubt I will ever have Cosmos or Ruler. And again, I mean, I can't afford to max them personally. Like, it would take way more help from my clan or otherwise than I earn. So like I'm content with that. Like, that's the thing. I am very content with that. More so, I am also very content with the community. I enjoy my type of gameplay. I also enjoy like the community we have here. So like that's just kind of it. That's what keeps me going. Instead of looking at like, well, why can't I afford King's gear? Well, I mean, I know why I can't afford it. So like I don't have like great aspirations of being like the strongest in Vikings War of Clans. However, I do have aspirations of being stronger than I am and enjoying like new types of play. So, I mean, it just kind of depends on where the focus goes and some other stuff. Um, Vikings War of Clans being a competitive, massive multiplayer online game is not always going to be affordable for everybody. That's kind of how it is. I've seen a lot of people get hung up on the spending aspect. A lot of people are like, well, I don't enjoy the game because I can't spend on the game. If that is literally how if that is literally how you look at like the game, like you can't enjoy it unless you spend on it, then I mean, if it is a hobby like that for you, good. Congrats. But when it gets to the point that you can no longer spend, you have to shift focus and go either continue playing or find something else that makes you happy. That's literally all I'm saying. I'm not knocking anybody's playstyle at all. I don't know though if King's Gear will legitimately ever be retired to the store. I have no clue. It would be nice. It would be awesome for people to have a better opportunity or more of an opportunity to earn it. Um, However, like, keep in mind, if it goes to the store, it is not going to be cheap. With the bonuses and stuff it gives overall, it will be probably very close to 500 million and up in medals per piece. I mean, at 500 million, 6 pieces is 3.6 billion for a full level 1 set. So, but I don't know. But the thing is, though, also is this like instead of being like, well, I can't max this, so I'm giving up, like, work at your own pace. It is a marathon, not a foot race. Like, I don't try to keep pace with anyone else. Legit. Well, I take that back. I try to keep pace with Amber. But to be honest, like, I don't try to keep pace with anyone else. Like, I keep my pace myself because, like, if I don't, I literally get distracted. I get discouraged. I get very upset with how it's working. So like for instance, this right here. I know there's probably a lot of people that have that way higher than me. My Oracle just recently went to 42, so I've got more knowledge in there available now than what I had before. But like, I don't have a lot of the secret knowledge done. I just don't. I don't spend a lot of money. Well, I don't spend any money, to be honest. I haven't spent in over a year. So like, I mean, what I'm working through this is literally what is earned from events. And streaming and other stuff. So like, that's it. Literally no money hits my game account. So I mean, like, but I'm working at my own pace. I'm working at my own availability, my own goals and other stuff here. So it's like, I'm not really caught up on the whole like I will never catch up. I don't honestly care if I ever catch up. And I know that might seem like completely absurd, but like, legitimately, I don't care if I never catch up. Because like, I'm not worried about the dreaded gap. I don't care. I'm never going to literally catch Game Ender. Ever. Never. It's not gonna happen. I don't have the time, I don't have the money, I don't have the resources and stuff at my availability to literally ever catch Game Ender. I don't. Not unless he quits and I continue to play for the next 10 to 15 years, and somehow win the lottery. But like, I don't compare that. A lot of people are like, well, I'll never be able to compete with them. Well, I mean, like, what it takes to compete with players like that is a lot of resources that a lot of people don't necessarily have to their availability. And that's fine. But like, I mean, if that's your goal, just keep in mind of like what it takes to catch people like that. Take a very, 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 very high activity on top of having like a lot of resources available. And I mean, again, I'm not knocking the aspirations of anybody. I'm just saying, like, the more you compare yourself to people that do things that you can't, the more discouraged you're going to be that you can't do them for whatever reason. So, like, I mean, that's just my personal opinion. I've seen a lot of people be like, well, it's just, I quit because the gap is too big. Obviously, if you're worried about the gap, then you're not necessarily enjoying the game anyway, because you're constantly worried about what someone else is doing, what they're getting, what they're achieving, and stuff like that. And for me personally, that just like takes its toll and absolutely exhausts me. I don't enjoy that type of gameplay. So like, personally, I've come to the terms I will never be on the top of the ranking leaderboard for offense. I will never be I will never be like the King of Jotunheim. I will probably never have King's Gear, Ruler, or Cosmos. And I'm all right with that. So like, well, but that's the thing. Leagues change. Leagues have to change, because if you were left in Odin League and you got matched against the people that literally met the new requirement while you met the old requirement, the point being is then you're mismatched anyway. So, like, I mean, there's been like a couple of things over the years where people said that like leagues could be changed to make things fair. Well, like, if you start limiting leagues by palace level, like what we've seen, this for comparison, news, settings, news. Okay, so let's say that, I mean, obviously level 40 was Asgard League before. Now it's League of Masters for home game. Let's go a different one. Let me see. Jotunheim. All right, Jotunheim's perfect. League of Asgard. Jotunheim was level 40 before. Now League of Asgard, it's level 44. If you look at the building bonuses, the knowledge that's available at Palace level 44, if you were a level 40 Palace and you're still competing with Palace level 44s, literally a lot of that people are going to be like, it's unfair. The gap is too big. I can't compete with them. So leagues changing just purely based on the requirements that are set forth like that actually makes sense. I mean, because then people are going to be complaining about like, well, I keep getting placed with monsters and I can't rank. I can't compete. So like, I mean, it's just kind of one of those things. As the game grows and changes, either we adapt or we don't. Like, that's just kind of how that works. Like, I'm not saying I enjoy consistent and constant change, because I really, really don't. Personally, I don't even enjoy multitasking. So, like, it's kind of one of those things, too, of, like, I understand the frustration of leagues constantly changing. But once they actually get all the new leagues implemented, all the way up to Palace level 50, and we start seeing champions and titans and the league switches constantly the leagues that are changing and stuff now actually even out across the board, it actually will not be as bad as people think it is. It's one of those, every update, there's an adjustment period. So it's waiting for that adjustment period to actually like settle down, and things will be relatively, I think things will be relatively like chill. Um just my personal opinion. So anyways, that's kind of it. That's really like all I had for today. I wanted to do just like a quick hangout stream, chill with you guys, and just kind of like um enjoy it. Like, I get the upset of people with like leagues constantly changing. It is agitating. I agree. But once the update actually settles in, and things like relatively mail out or mellow out, then it just won't be as bad as it is now. Anyways, that's pretty much all I had for today. I hope you guys have an amazingly awesome rest of your week. Well, that's because, again, higher league, stiffer competition. Like, see, and agreed. Like, there's still a lot of mismatching. Like, there's going to continue to be a lot of mismatching until like things are evened out. Once leagues and other stuff mellow out, honestly, a lot of that gap might change. Like, there's going to be huge stuff in events. Like, I mean, we could start seeing a mini for lower leagues. We could start seeing some other stuff implemented. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. Honestly, like, mini Battle for the Light and Home Gang are probably like the three hardest to predict events, period, anyway. Just because, like, the matching or the full open map of every clan being there just does not necessarily make it available for a lot. So, like, exactly. There's been mismatching and league issues since I started playing. Like, so, I mean, 10 years. We're going on 10 years of league mismatching and other stuff. Like, CVC, when it first came out, leagues were all whacked. The mismatches of events were crazy. KVK, mismatches were nuts when it came out. So, like, I mean, unfortunately, I don't know if that will ever be fixed. I just don't. I have hopes, high hopes, but I don't know if it will ever be fixed. I'm not saying like don't be upset about it. I'm not saying don't be like concerned about it. I'm just saying like it has been a long running thing. So I mean, I don't know. Maybe, hopefully, it will like honestly even out, and we'll start seeing more like even matched. Yes. I will I will mention into Torin. Oh, the OS setter always gets hosed. Anyways, that might be a good video too. Anyways, thank you guys for being here today, for chilling with me. I hope you have an amazingly awesome rest of your week. If you guys can, please check out the links. The GoFundMe and the Berserkr Bones merch shop. Keep the stuff coming. None of this funds my game. None of it at all. This literally all funds streaming. So literally everything I do for you guys versus anything for me, this all goes to funding stuff for you and for the community. Anyways, Thanks for chilling with me today. I hope you guys have an amazingly awesome rest of your weekend and a great start to your week. Be safe. Have fun. If it is warm and toasty where you're at, stay cool. If it is chilly where you're at, stay warm. Do not forget, no matter how much you enjoy gaming, go outside and touch some grass. Enjoy. I will see you guys around in the community on the next live stream on Thursday. I will try to get some other stuff, videos and tests and stuff done for you. I want to do a King's Gear test. I'd like to do a ruler comparison test and some other stuff. Thank you guys for being here with me today. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, and I will see you guys later.